What is going on, OTB Nation? Welcome into episode number 231. I almost said 31. That would have been a long time ago. Of the allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. It's KB and Deej coming at you from Underground Studios, which we will also be doing tomorrow because Deej is coming to town. Deej will be in studio, will be doing some stuff, so stay tuned for that on the socials because we got a Saturday-Sunday weekend for the very first time in a long time of PLL action. The AllStar break is over. We're heading to the second half, so we're going to dive into just recapping the AllStar game real quick. We got some big PLL news as well earlier today. We'll give you our preview on everything coming up in Fairfield, obviously the picks as well. And then we got some other stuff as well and some big NLL news involving my squad. So, before we get started, make sure you guys are following us on the socials at OTBLaxPod, Twitter, Instagram. Shout out to everybody that entered our giveaway for the All-Star Game jersey. Shout out to Hughes for winning. He's been a long-time supporter, so that was cool that the generator picked him to win. Thank you guys for subscribing to the YouTube channel. Let's keep that thing going. We cracked 1,400 followers from the giveaway, so shout out to everybody who came through. But follow us on Twitter, Instagram at OTBLaxPod. Follow Deej on Twitter at SCS_NextGreat. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, because there's going to be a fancy little thing. Deej, we got featured on a nice little big old website recently, and that's going to be up on the website coming in this weekend. And, of course, subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews because it really does help the show grow. And like I said, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Hit that like button. Click the bell icon so you don't miss a single second of OTB action. You're going to get a double dose of KB and Deej on your pleasant Friday. You're going to have OTB in the afternoon this week, but also streamer season featuring DJ will be up in the morning. So you get double KB and DJ action on the YouTube. And, of course, comment down below everything you got going on in your lacrosse lives. We want to read the comment sections as we keep this thing rolling on YouTube. Shout out to the sponsors who make this show happen. Tomahawk Shades, the best small batch eyewear in the game. Go to tomahawkshades.com. Use code USP for 25% off your order. That's sunglasses, blue light glasses, prescription lenses, and everything in between. Tomahawkshades.com, promo code USP for 25% off your entire order. Kenwood Beer, the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia. They got the all new and improved Kenny Tracker that has some pretty rad features that I'm going to read off to you guys here because when I saw them tweet this out, I was like, this just means Kenwood's the best. And Deej, I got Kenny's. So when you're here, you can crack open a Kenny with the boys. So you guys, the newest Kenny Finder, you guys can, it highlights where you can find Kenwood specials. They listed citywides, buckets, and draft specials. So look for different colored dots to find the closest Kenwood special to you. Guys, come on. It's a recession. Grab an affordable Kenny. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. And the game that will probably be up until 6 a.m. playing, Bino. Go to BinoBoard.com. DJ just restocked new colored goals. They got black goals in. They got red goals in. Go to BinoBoard.com and use code BinoUSP to get 10% off your boards, your board accessories, merch, apparel, all that good stuff. Bino USP gets you 10% off at BinoBoard.com. What's poppin', Coach Deej?
So, starting off with coaching stuff. We're done for the summer. No championships, sadly, but, I mean, the boys are amazing. I loved coaching with them and hanging out with them all summer. They were fantastic boys. Can't wait to see them grow up. They grew a lot over the summer just as lacrosse players. Excited to see them play football and stuff this fall and get back with them in fall lacrosse, too. We got that coming up. But excuse my language for a second, but I had a few parents go to my boss and the director of the tournament because we ran this tournament this past weekend and say, I told my kids to put their kids in fucking body bags. When in all reality, I said, play the fucking body and put him on his ass. which is very different than put them in a fucking body bag. So I had to deal with that also this weekend. So glad to be taking a break and a breather for
Holy shit.
about a month and a half or so. But this is also the same program that's notoriously known for pulling kids down and playing them in ages they're not supposed to play in.
Right.
But they're complaining about things like that. Anyway, summer was awesome, and I can't wait to get back with those guys. But yeah, you bring up this Bino stuff. Little does my family know they're about to go bananas for me for Christmas. I'm gonna need hopefully I can get that OTB colored board and then go crazy with the goals, get like a black goal and a red goal and have some different colored balls and kind of just go crazy with the thing and play mix and match with it. So hopefully they come through and get me a Bino board. I'll give them the USP discount so we can get in there.
Put some food on the table.
Right? So hopefully
go crazy.
Hopefully that's what I get for Christmas. If not, I guess I'll just get it for myself.
There you go. We're going to recap the All-Star game real quick for the people. It was an absolute bloodbath as Team Baptiste beats Team Farrell 33-13, the most goals scored in a PLL game. Asterisk, obviously we had the bonus ball situation and we had the reduced 2-point arc. But Marcus Holman wins MVP, the first non-goalie to win All-Star Game MVP in league history. I don't know what it was, but Team Baptiste they were on fire. They were on one and just had it from the go. Team Baptiste had 8 2-point goals. Team Farrell had 0. It's pretty much your determining factor right there. Still, I mean, there were some fun concepts. I think there was some interesting things to take away from the All-Star game that we could possibly see in the future. Not that we'll see a bonus ball in the future whatsoever, but I think the way Paul Rabel was talking about on the broadcast in the second quarter, it sounded like they were like, just taking in like the analytics of the 2-point arc and everything, which is interesting. But I think you and I were talking off pod the other day and said we kind of enjoy where it's at 15. Makes it still a little challenging, but still there's opportunity for you to score 2-pointers, as we've seen from some of our guys like Chaney, Miles Jones, Perk. Like you can still launch from 2 and put up points from 15.
I mean, I like it at 15, but I can't say I wouldn't hate it at 13 for a regular game. I don't like it at 13 for the All-Star game because, like you said, we were talking about it off pod and like just the way it changed the All-Star game. Like guys were legitimately just shooting 2s because like the average shot was a 2. So like every shot they took was a 2. Like that's what I don't want to see in the All-Star game. Like I want to see guys just like play lacrosse, but like also like, do cool stuff. Like I want it to look kind of like, a basketball All-Star game where the first 3 quarters, like guys are like playing kind of loose and just having fun. And then they kind of turn it up a little bit in the fourth quarter, kind of because it does mean a little bit to win the game. Like that's what I want to see there. But like in a regular game, I think moving it to 13 or maybe 14, like it makes it more, it just makes the end of games better. It's like, it makes it more realistic, almost more like a 3-pointer. Like the chances of making a 3-pointer at the end of a game when you need 3 points are much higher than they are to make a 2 in lacrosse right now. But like you move that line to 13 or 14, we have a Miles or a Surge or a Chaney, a Romar, a Brian Costabile, like, muscling through a guy and shooting at 13 and hitting a 2 to extend the game to overtime versus now that 15 through a guy is getting swallowed up by the goalie. Like I'm okay with it almost in regular season if that is what it becomes. Like I would hate to see it be like the All-Star game.
Wouldn't even hate if they just go in the middle. And if they were going to change it, make it 14. Yeah. But I think 15 has been wildly successful because not everybody's a 2-point artist either. Not everybody is Perk. Not everybody's Miles, Chaney. Not everybody's 2019 Jared Newman. Like, singles work too. Look at the Whip Snakes. Like, you don't have to be, focusing on the 2-bomb at all times, but it's a nice weapon to have. And I think there's plenty of guys on every single team that can, launch the 2.
I think it's just, it would be cool to see it more like get more open twos at the end of games. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really the appeal there is like for the chance, like it pretty much at this point, if you're up two with, under 45 seconds, the game's over.
Yeah.
Unless you can get one real quick, get another. But like the chances of that with the way defenses are playing, in the past few years are like slim to none. Whereas if that line was at 13, we're talking about overtime a lot more. At least you get the open shot. Maybe the goalie makes a great save or you miss or whatever, but at least the open shot is there. You can get the defense to rotate a few times and get an open at 13, or make a dodge get open at 13 versus getting an open at 15.
And Paul's talked about this a number of times, even when he was playing and going on the broadcasts, and this weekend too. Analytically, like moving the 2-point arc to 15 from where it was in the MLL benefits the defense more than it does the offense. So I don't know if they'll change it. I think it's an interesting thing to use the All-Star game as kind of a case study thing for different stuff. But overall, I think the best part of it was the jerseys look great.
The jerseys did look really good. I thought they shined in the light.
Don't know how I felt about the sideline button down. So
what Trevor was wearing, like the bowling shirt. I mean,
it was okay. I bounced back and forth on that's kind of fire versus I wouldn't wear that.
I mean, I wouldn't have been wearing it no way, so I don't care. Like even if I was there, I wouldn't have been wearing a jersey. Like, yeah, I need one of them Johns that Brewski had.
Yeah,
Big Brew. That thing was fire.
Also, shout out to Diggs and Scotty.
Right.
Holding it down.
They definitely should have been on the All-Star panel, or not the All-Star panel, the
Freestyle panel.
The freestyle judging panel. I thought that was I mean, I didn't know the other guys, but I mean, shout out to them. I
did know Teddy Bruschi, but after like you and I said, after it got past Paul, we were like, who that?
And shout out to my guy Brian Nozlak. Like I saw his tweet and he was like, they lost me after Paul Rabel with these judges, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Like, it's got to be like it can't be that bad. And I finally got a chance to sit down and watch it. I was like, oh yeah,
y'all remember Zach and Cody? This is them now.
Yeah, man, that's kind of what I felt like. Like, who are these guys? And the wrestler dude, I was like, really? I guess he used to play Lacrosse, that. Though.
Yeah.
So that made it. Once I figured that out, that made a lot of sense.
And today's news also makes that make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into that. But to recap the skills competition, the boy Jared Newman acquires his title, rightfully so, for the fastest shot,
which was still in the middle of the All-Star game. We need to fix that.
Hated it. Hate that. I hate it. Drives me nuts. But Jared did the damn thing. Shout out Mike Manley. Ripped in that first round.
And
also,
Miles.
I need the fastest shot to have 6 people, and it be like 3 rounds.
And be separated?
Something. Because going from 1 round to then the finals is like, meh.
But also, I mean,
like I get you only have so much power to get the fastest shot going, but I don't know, it feels like so rushed too, especially since it's in the middle of the
I like 6, but I like 3 and 3. You do the first round, lowest guy bounces, and then the second round's championship for both. And 3 and 3 is 3 shorts, 3 longs.
Or even if it's 6 guys, first round you knock 2 out, second round you knock 2 out, and then you got your final.
The thing is, you run into a situation like last year a lot with that, I think, in my opinion.
And I also think you need to carry cumulative shot.
But
I've said that since.
But when you do it that way, that's not really how those other kind of competitions go. Look at the home run derby, or look at 3-point contests. Like when you have these advancing rounds.
Don't get me started on the home run derby.
Right, but when you advance in rounds, you get that round for that score, you get that score for that round, and that's it. Your next round, your past rounds don't affect your next round. So they're staying synonymous with that point. Like, I understand that because it's kind of just like how sports go with these kind of things. Like, you can't have the last round affect the first round, the next round when it's a tournament style thing. So it's like you run into the situation like last year where a guy may have a faster shot in the round before, but he loses because he, doesn't have the power later on in the round. And it's like, that's a problem, but it's like,
Yeah, I don't know. I
how
need
do
something
you,
with the fastest shot to get adjusted because something just doesn't feel right with it.
and I really think shorts and longs should separate.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's fun and I look forward to it, but it's also something is like off with it. But shout out to Jared because the boy was an absolute lunatic. 118 on that thing with
Like
his fastest shot, and then 100 casual lefty.
it would have been nice to see Miles win one. I think he went like 114, 115 with a short. Like,
Yeah, something like that.
most shorts aren't shooting that fast, Like, let's see a short competition, see who can do that, see a long, and then maybe put the short and long against each other just for, like a total hoorah at the end. But like, I think, or yeah, maybe that's the way to do it, is do 3-3, short, long, put the short and long against each other, and then the winner of that is the actual champion.
Yeah, something's got to get adjusted in my opinion, and it also just can't be during halftime. Accuracy challenge, Marcus Holman, three-peater, no surprise. Freestyle challenge, all the Delco dads were out there rooting for Mikey Sires, and he did the damn thing. Absolutely dominant performance from him. I thought Connor Farrell was great. I thought he was very creative. I thought pretty much everyone had creativity, and that this was one of the best overall concept freestyle challenges we've had, I think, in the 3 All-Star games. Just Jack and Chris, if they could have nailed their shots, I think it would have been that much closer. But Michael Savage did the damn thing. I was very impressed with him.
Yeah, I think Jack had a real good chance of winning that thing had he landed that first shot. I don't know what he would have came out with in the next round, but that first round shot, I was like, oh, he's really trying. Like, that's pretty creative, especially like I've seen guys do it, but they always do it with shorts.
Yeah.
But to do that with a long is pretty impressive.
And it seemed like for the first time, the guys who advanced had multiple concepts ready to go, which good on you. Like, that was needed. Because in years past, it was like, oh, I advanced, but I don't know what I'm going to do next. This was a very entertaining freestyle challenge this year, for sure. But the boy, Jack Rowlett, got that speed, boy. He's a runner. He's a track star. He is the fastest player in the league 2022. Absolute menace. Just dusted him in that final.
The fact that he said he was surprised by the fact that he was the fastest. I'm like, bro, what? You don't never say that, especially on national television.
He said, I sandbagged him early on, and then he said, well, I guess I have no more excuses now to say that I'm not fast.
Yeah.
Beast. Shout out to Jack. And then Kyle Burnlord, 2-time goalie champion now. Beats Jack Kincannon, Sean Scanoni, and Blaze. I don't know if you saw. It definitely looked like Channy was feeding some nice little lob shots for Kyle to save during his 3 shots.
It did look a little lobby, but also, I mean, did you notice like Blaze just like not trying? Or is that me? Like
it was weird. Like he looked like the first one he was trying to save it, and then it went in. He was like, I got to be almost perfect to win, so there's no way.
Well, no, because the first 2 he literally just like let in, and I was like, is this man about to do some crazy shit?
I said, yo, JA got the sauce.
Well, nah, well, yeah, he's got the sauce, but I was like, this man Blaze is about to let the first 2 go in and then just go nutty and save the last 10.
That would have been insane.
I was like, but then like, because like that's literally what it looked like. He didn't even try to save the first 2. Like he literally just looked at JA and was like, all right, like, all right, you scored.
Hats off to you.
All right, I'll save this one. Like, see ya. Like, I was so confused, and then he like didn't save another one, and I was like, okay, maybe he's gonna tie him and go for dramatics, and then there was another goal, and I was like, all right, like he's literally just like not trying.
Yeah. So that was your All-Star game. Boston showed out. We'll be there in September when the big theatrics are going down. Very excited for that. Also very excited about this news we got today, Deej. PLL investment news that kind of came out of nowhere on like the casual like fan side of things. I'm sure this has been in the works for quite some time on the business side. Hopefully bump into our guy Mike Rabel this weekend and chop it up with him about this because I'd love to learn more. But the Premier Lacrosse League today secured Series D round of financing led by the Chernin Group, WWE, and 35 Ventures, a.k.a. Kevin Durant's investment group. Very exciting stuff. The Series D financing, this is from the press release, include the following areas of focus: increased player incentives, upgraded travel experiences, off-season programming, hiring key talent across commercial business efforts, expansion of PLL media, marketing and scripted/unscripted productions, PLL game weekend enhancement, and a robust data science and technology team. Super exciting stuff. I mean, you got KD investing, you got the WWE, which coincides with Erica Nardini being on the board of directors for both the WWE and the PLL now. The Chernin Group invested originally in the PLL in their first round of financing when the league was trying to get up off the ground, so they're back in for more. And this is big time stuff. It just means more and more people are ready to get in on the PLL. It's exciting to see KD get in, no matter how you feel about KD. From what I know as a Union fan and seeing just like KD's business side of like his brain, he's smart as shit with his investments.
My bad, bro. KFC has new mac and cheese bowls, and I saw a commercial in the background. And I'm like, wow, bro, that looks fire. But yeah, no, I do have my gripes against Kevin Durant. That's mostly in the NBA world. He's definitely going to be a snake. A little coincidental with snakes, Union. He snaked OKC to win a champion. All right.
He's probably a Slytherin.
Definitely a Slytherin guy. But I'm done on that part. I mean, investment-wise, he's done a fantastic job. I mean, the Union, what they've done with the money they've gotten for their things is fantastic. Their stadium is awesome. Their merch as well. I was able to peek at some stuff while they had the PLL store inside their shop. So, like, I like what they've done over there with them. And the other things that their investment group have.
The boardroom is always huge.
Yeah, like he's done a fantastic job in terms of dropping his money in other places and building upon what people have started, especially in terms of making sports better that need the help. So my gripes can stay in the NBA world, and especially because of the things that this can be used for. The Series D money, like these are. It can be used for a lot of things that the audience has been calling for. Yeah. So I would expect the league to continue to gain traction, not only with, the lacrosse community as it is, but also to start to pull in more random fans and grow the lacrosse community.
Yeah, I think the big things that stood out to me was, the data and science stuff that clearly just screams updates and like more improvements on the app. Which this is not an ad. If you don't have the PLL app and you're a PLL fan, you're not doing your PLL viewing experience the right way. That app has saved my life more times than you can imagine. It's so well put together, and it's like one of the more seamless apps out there. And I mean, the media stuff intrigues me. I mean, we've been calling for pregame, postgame, halftime shows. To host them. That'd be kind of sick. Just saying. We say it every week. We're available.
Just maybe. I kind of told my job I wouldn't be leaving anytime soon, but I can always retract on words. Well, y'all ain't paying me what they paying me.
And I mean, it just sounds like, other good stuff on the player side of things too, with the travel experiences, off-season programming, incentives, stuff like that. So it's huge. Big time investors as well. And I'm sure some of this is going to go into the championship series during the off season, and excited to see where this all kind of correlates and how this money is going to get used and everything like that. So whenever you see the PLL getting money, that's exciting because we've seen what they've done with it before, and it's only going to get better and better. Just like our travel schedule, Deej, it's getting better and better. We will be in Fairfield this weekend. If you will be there, come say what's up. We're gonna preview these games, and then we're gonna get into our picks. But we got a loaded weekend of games, Saturday and Sunday. A lot of rematches in this weekend. Finally, Redwoods versus Atlas is the first game at 5 Eastern time on ESPN2 this week for the people at home. That's on Saturday night, 7:30. Rematch of the championship game, and Chaos are, as they said, bringing all their friends. Whipsnakes versus Chaos. It looks like Max Adler might be playing in this game. He is listed as questionable on the injury report. Then on Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN2. 3 games on ESPN2 this week, and the only one that's not is the championship rematch. Cannons versus Archers at 2 p.m. on Sunday, and then Chrome versus Waterdogs wraps up the weekend at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Woods Atlas is going to be interesting from the perspective, we were talking about this right before we started recording. Redwoods might have a shot simply because Trevor Baptiste is out this week. Not that we want to see our boy Trevor injured. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to rock and roll for this West Coast swing for Atlas, but Redwoods might have a legit shot going up against Jacob Fopp, who has not taken a face-off this year, I'm pretty sure, for Atlas. And this might be, nice little spot coming out of the AllStar game for TD at the stripe, and looks like Jack Neer might be back as well, which will be big for the defense for Redwoods, as long as he's just not running up on offense. But, the last time these two teams played, Atlas absolutely dogged Redwoods. It wasn't even really a contest. And I'm excited to kind of see the rematch and where the improvements from the first time these two teams played for the Redwood side of things come from. And I'm excited to see, Atlas out of the break after the hot start to the season they've had.
Yeah, I think TD has a good chance to boost his season and get back into the TD that we all know. He's had a nice break to, get back into his groove, think, get some reps in, all that good stuff. And now he's going up against, some fresher competition. So it's a good chance for him to get rolling, good chance for the offense to get rolling, as they should have the ball more. So they should be able to work it around, getting everybody's sticks, figure out their set, get into it. Hopefully they can get their transition game in terms of – I think it's more of a substitution problem with the transition game than it is having it. Like, the Redwoods have never really been a transition team. Like, they got a few goals here and there every game from transition, but, it wasn't their thing. They got it down to attack. They subbed off, subbed on, ran their offense, and that's what it was. So I think they just need to get back to efficiently subbing and running their offense, because when they do run their offense well, they score. But the problem has been they're getting into their offensive sets with 20, 15 seconds to go. They got one chance, and that's not enough. So I think going back to efficiently subbing is the way to go, so they have a chance to do that as well. Defense has been playing phenomenal this year, so if they continue to do that, we should be just fine. I don't have too many rifes with Timmy, honestly. He had that one bad game that we talked about, but other than that, I think he's been great. So, also still wondering if he's going to start. I'm assuming.
I was going to ask you, who do you think is going to start? I think Jack might start. Jack looked great in that last game.
Say it's tough to say because, Jack looked great, but at the same time, All-Star games are like resets. Like, they almost you almost come out of the All-Star game back at the beginning of the season mode. So you kind of give a refresher. So I'm wondering Did they give Timmy this time to relax over the break? He wasn't in the AllStar game, wasn't in any of the
You
competition.
think he watched the goalie challenge?
I would assume he watched the goalie challenge. That's probably the only thing he watched.
You think
if he watched the game?
I hope he was like the SpongeBob meme from the Sea Bear episode. Write that down. Write that down. But instead of tic-tac-toe, he was actually taking notes. Kind of need that.
That would be hilarious if that was the actual way it was. But yeah, I would assume he probably watched a little bit of it. But
you think Nat put him in like the Nina Project, like 11 in Stranger Things?
Nah.
To try to, tap back to High Point in 2019 and like remember how to block shots.
I think
how to save balls.
I think he went to him and looked into him and looked in his eyes as a man and said, "You know what you got to do to get yourself together, man."
And I hope people know too. Deej and I say this about Tim because we know how talented he is.
Yes,
and we don't want to see him fail.
And
we would feel this way if he was on any team because we know how talented of a goalie Tim Troutner is, and we've seen it. We just want him back in that form. We said the same shit about Kyle Burnloy last year, and look at him.
Yeah.
Kyle's way too talented of a goalie, and we just, we bagged on him, rightfully so, and look at him now.
Along with a lot of other people, and Mans has popped off since then. Like, sometimes that's what you need. Maybe Tim doesn't play for the rest of the year. Let's look back. Phipps played for the rest of the year for the Whips last year. Made it back to the championship. Now Kyle's back stronger than ever. Like, maybe that's the same approach the Woods are taking. We'll see out of the break, but I feel like Nat just went to him and said, get your shit together. If you don't,
put it all in a backpack.
Get
your shit together.
Yeah, I think they're having, their practices this week their practices this week were, kind of like a tryout again, and we'll find out, tomorrow who's starting in net, who won the battle. So it's kind of just in the air.
Yeah. Whips Chaos is kind of self-explanatory. Everybody's back, and this game's going to be a lot of fun. I think the only question mark we should all collectively have is who's going to be the third Taqman for Whips. Will we see Jay Carlson? Please. I'm tired of not seeing my mans out there. He's way too talented to be on a restricted roster. But I think that's the only question.
Who runs out of the box?
And
who do you take off the roster for him?
I mean, me personally, we've talked about this off pod too. There's a time and place to play your rookies and stuff. When you're the Whip Snakes and your roster is quote unquote older, you should be doing everything in your power to be winning as many games as possible, making your score differential better, and Jay Carlson does all of those things for you. He's way too talented of a player to not be on the field for them. We've seen what he's done, for this team with Zed, Rambo, and himself, and then Brad Smith there. Brad's kind of been playing more of a traditional midfield role this year since Gutty's been there full time. I mean, there's so much you can do, but I think if you're Whips, you have rookies, but that's also your future. You're playing for your now, in my opinion, for the most part, with some of the guys that are on this roster. So I think Jay needs to be playing more.
You didn't answer my question, though.
Any of the rookies. Take him out.
Okay, so who comes
Keegan
out of the
Khan,
box?
whoever it needs to be, bye.
But who comes out of the box?
I mean, we talked about this too probably like a month ago. It'd be fun to see what Zed would do out of the box because we know he can do it. And Gutty's been playing that kind of natural X again. Gutty can come out of the box. Will he thrive? Who knows? I mean, he did it last year a little bit. It wasn't like his natural position, but he still played well. I would be intrigued to see Zed do it because I think he's just an uberly talented player that you can put him anywhere and he'll thrive.
I mean, yeah, we've talked about, I think both on and off pod about Zed coming out of the box. I like the idea. Kind of was just picking your brain with that. I personally don't care whether.
I was also blanking on who the other rookie was. Oh, Jackson Reed. Yeah, they're both talented. I know Stags loves Jackson and Keegan Khan, and Wheaton Jacoboys too. But like I said, it's like you're your team has a lot of older players. You don't know how much longer you're going to have with this core. Do whatever it takes to try to win as many games with the talented players you have and not play, training camp tryout during the season.
But are they really in danger?
Not at all. But I think their score differential is sus for them because they're behind. Like, yes, they're 4-1, but their score differential is a 5, where the other two teams that are 4-1 are at a 13 each, and then the team right behind them in the Archers, who could easily be 5-0 because the 2 games they lost were 1-goal games. They have the best score differential in the league.
Whole time, Brad and Channy are retiring, and that's really the whole point for all of it.
I don't think Brad's retiring.
Never
He's
know.
young.
Never know, man.
Brad's hella young.
Channy will
Channy
probably
may.
retire.
Channy may retire in the next 2 or 3 years, I would say. But defensively too, like you have some guys like Earhart's getting older. Not that they're in retirement range yet, but they're getting older. And I feel like if you're Stags, you want to try to capitalize on as many opportunities as possible to win while you have this core together. Because you don't know how much longer Stags is going to coach.
I just don't think there's anything wrong with it. Don't fix what ain't broke.
I don't know. I like Jay in this offense a lot. He does a lot of things that a lot of players don't do.
Well, no, I'm not talking about that part. I just think you're worried about the wrong thing, in my opinion. They're winning games, developing players.
They're not scoring, though.
Okay.
That's why I'm saying, Jay should be. Because Jay, we've seen Jay this year have, a sock trick almost.
This is the point I'm making. You're worried about just scoring, when in the fact they're worried about winning games. Because that's what gets them into the tournament.
That's all well and good.
That's all they need. In a
league that the score differential matters.
That's all they need. Look at last year. They were what? They were the what seed? The 5th seed, and they played the what
luck
seed? And they played the what seed in the championship game? The 6th seed. It don't matter in this league. You just got to get there. They're totally on that mode. They're on that mode where they want everybody on the roster to be ready to go when it comes playoff time. Just in case anything happens, everybody's good to go. They can put out the best possible roster at the time because everybody's ready for championship lacrosse. Everybody's healthy, or if someone gets hurt, they got to fill in because they're winning games and they're going to be in the playoffs. That's what sports are all about when you get to a certain level. It's just getting to the playoffs and being healthy and ready. The Whips have tapped into that year in and year out. And you're worried about the wrong things.
I'm gonna leave it at this. The 3 teams I mentioned before are much better than they were last year.
Fair enough.
Just saying.
But we March Madness, right? You just got to get there. That's my whole point. Just got to get there.
Just gonna say the way Whip Snake's offense is playing this year, wouldn't be surprised if they're a first round bounce. Cannons, Archers. Archers are going to dust the floor with Cannons this week, in my opinion, because Lyle's out. Grant's questionable. We'll see if he plays. It's a rematch of the 20-9 bludgeoning that Archers displayed on Long Island a couple weekends ago. I just think the Archers are playing really, really well right now. And Cannons are still trying to kind of find themselves, and they're still plugging and playing pieces on offense. And no Lyle is tough to overcome it. Not that they're not talented up top, but he's like the engine of the car. And if you don't have an engine in your car, it's tough to move.
I think this game will still be fun. And I
think it'll be fun.
I think
Archers have especially if Grant plays. It's obviously a hypothetical right now until we see if he's actually going to play. He's questionable. But if Grant plays too, and he's got fresh legs from, not playing wise, that offense is going to be clicking.
Maybe.
And that's exciting.
Maybe. It's tough to join a group of guys who have been playing when you haven't. It's really hard to get back into the groove. Like, am I worried about Grant getting back into the groove? No, but I'm worried about the offense possibly hindering a little bit for him getting back into the groove. Like, guys have to change the way they're playing now. The Archers offense kind of completely changes. It's been more of a, we're all going to help each other out and we're all just going to dodge at random times, find the open guy and shoot. Like, their offense isn't really that when Grant is there. It's, okay, let's get the ball to the attack, give it to Grant. He's going to dodge. Maybe someone gets open. Maybe he's open. If that isn't there, then we'll adjust from there. Like, their offense completely changes. And if he's off in the slightest, their whole offense is going to be off. Because I doubt they're going to, like, it's going to take a while before they move away from that. Because they're like, he's got to warm up, it's the first few reps. Like, that's how that always goes. Like, that's just a worry of mine. It may not be the case, but also think, like, this team finds this Cannons team finds a busted up motor. Not really busted up, but they go to the junkyard and they find a steal of a motor in Ryan Drenner, and he pulls off what he's been doing for this year. Except I think he moves down and attack, and he has the ball in his hands a lot more rather than running out of the box. So
yeah, it's not Drenner that scares me. It's just the outside pieces, because that's kind of been like plug and play for them all year. Like, they've dropped guys, they put guys in, and it's like been very inconsistent. Like, where's Shane Jackson been? Question mark.
I thought he played in their last game.
I don't remember him playing, because I think Charlotte Beatty's played the last two, which I'm not mad about, but it's also,
But I thought Charlotte Beatty's was running out of the box.
Let me pull up their matchup from Minnesota. I'm not worried about Grant simply for this fact. Like, your point, totally valid, with him having not played. But I view it as the primary guys on this offense have played with Grant before, so that helps a lot, and they know what makes him tick, and they know, like, his style of play. I think the only thing it potentially, quote-unquote, hurts is, which of Deso, Matt Moore plays more, no pun intended there, and then how do you kind of incorporate what they've been doing in the absence of Grant into the offense in a newish role. Not that Matt Moore's would be newish, because he's been playing out of the box pretty much since week 2, but I think it's more so the rookies getting acclimated to Grant more than, the Wills, the Marcus, Schreiber, Ryan Ambler, and guys like that. And to be fair, we also have seen Chris Bates pull early plugs on guys when things aren't going well. So if things aren't clicking and they need to win, he's going to do whatever it takes. And if that means, pulling Grant for some burn for some other guys, it wouldn't shock me in the slightest. I'm pulling up Cannon's Minnesota roster here. Shane Jackson did not play.
Okay.
Because they played, Bubba Fairman played. And they just got Donville as well. So, like, they're still kind of, like, plugging and playing pieces. And that always concerns me when, it's this, quote-unquote, late in the season and you're still shuffling guys in. And that's been the case for Cannons for the last 2 years now. They've been, kind of revolving door with pieces to try to see who fits, and they don't necessarily have a consistent thing.
Well,
and, like, they do have a consistent thing, but sometimes they just pull the plug too early on it, and it drives me nuts.
I don't think it's that. I think theirs has been injuries, really. Like, a lot like Chrome. Like, it's not that – like, Chrome has the bad injury bug where it's like 1,000 guys are out at once, whereas Cannons has the other bad injury bug where it's like 1 or 2 guys are out, and then as a guy gets healthy, another guy gets hurt, and then another 2 guys get hurt as those guys get healthy. Like, they can't keep an entire healthy roster, and it's always like at least one guy that's like a very integral part. Like, instead of just being, really hurt or really healthy, they're just always missing a piece, that's like tough to play through. And it's not really, like, in me, that's not a plug and play. That's a, like, well, we got to fill, like, we have to fill the spot because you're hurt. Whereas plug and play is like, I, as a coach, don't like the way you're playing, so I'm going to put this piece in. to see if it fits better. I feel like they've just been doing a lot of, well, now he's hurt, so now we got to put him in. And, well, he's been playing okay, so we're not really going to take him out now that he's healthy. Like, a lot of that has been going on versus, like, legitimate plug and play. But I guess it's all really on your opinion of what plug and play is.
Because I think their only, like, injury really has been Lyle for the most part, which Drenner has filled in. Asher's been, filling in there. I think it's just been kind of like their outside of Taqman, where it's been Shane Jackson, it's been Charlon Bees, it's been, a hybrid version of Bubba Fairman playing, like, all over the place. They've just kind of been popping in different players to give them burn, which I don't hate. But when this Cannons team is still looking for so much consistency that they haven't had in a number of positional groups over the last 2 years, if something's clicking, which to me and what I think to you, the combo of Drenner, Lyle, and Shane Jackson last year, and for parts of this year, has worked. We've seen that, those three guys together have chemistry that works, and then plugging in Asher in place of Paul has been a wild success with Lyle and Asher, like, playing off of each other. I just don't understand. Like, I get you're trying to get other guys involved, but you and I think Shane Jackson's arguably one of the most underrated players in the field game.
The only reason they went away from that is because, as good as Asher is, he wasn't going to have a good of a year coming up top as we thought he would. He's better down low, so they had to put Drenner up top, which Drenner has played fine up top. But like you said, it changes the dynamic of their offense. But it's like you kind of can't suffer that. Like, you can't have Asher coming out of the box and not playing up to his potential when you could just move him down to attack and he could play to his potential and still have a very good Drenner. Like, you have to do that. So it's like they're in one of those positions where, like, what works best for them, like, in terms of being competitive, doesn't work best in terms of, like, team chemistry. So it's like they have to find they're literally missing, like, one more piece of gluing the mixes together. Like, they need one more piece to complement Drenner up top in the mid game, so that they have a nice balance between running Asher, Shane Jackson, and Lyle down low, and then Drenner and someone else up top.
Because of the 3 1-4 teams coming into this weekend, Redwoods, Cannons, Chaos, I think Cannons are the biggest, risk of being that 8 seed that missed the playoffs out of those 3 teams.
It's tough because, like, I don't feel like they have anything going for them, but
they've also given up the most goals in the league this year. They have 71 scores against.
But I'm worried about Chaos. Those dudes are tired.
I also think Chaos have, quote-unquote, better depth for the style of offense that they play as opposed to what Cannons has right now. And I think Chaos has a far superior defense across the board. And they have the arguably best player on the planet in Blaze Reardon, who 20 times out of 20, you and I are taking Blaze as our goalie.
I'm not saying they don't have good chances. They just worry me because, like I said, those dudes have not stopped playing lacrosse. Like, their bodies, their
luckily
minds,
they've had 2 weeks off.
No, half of them didn't.
Well, true,
because they went and played in the Sixes tournament.
Well, who played for? It was Josh Dane.
I think Chase as well.
Did Chase play?
I think so. It's like the big guys on their team went and played.
I know Kluge played, but he also missed a week coming back. Like, he didn't play in that Baltimore game.
Yeah, but like still, like he's had basically 1 week off, and like Josh and Dane have had no time off. Like, these dudes need to rest. Like, I mean, I'm not saying they need to, but like after a while, you start to wonder like how much can they like do they really have left? Like when are their bodies like gonna give out and they're just not gonna have it? Is it gonna be sometime during this season, or is it gonna be during next NLL season? Like eventually their bodies are gonna give that month they're gonna get in between PLL and NLL is not gonna be enough. But sorry for assuming they make it back to the championship, but still, like that month, 2 months is not a lot of time because they're still gonna have a stick in their hands. They're still gonna run, hit the gym. Like, dude's got to relax. That's just what worries me.
I just for the yeah, that's definitely a concern. But I think the other pieces that Chaos have can like carry them.
Who?
I mean,
Because they didn't have anything before those guys got there.
They also assembled a ragtag team.
Yeah, but like,
I really like the way that Challen has fit into this team a ton. And I think KJ, when given the opportunities like we've seen this year, has thrived. You're getting Max Adler back, which I think is huge for this team, allegedly. Obviously, he's questionable. And I mean, like I said, I think they have better depth with guys like Westberg. We haven't really seen I don't think we've seen Tahoka yet at all. So I mean, that's still on the table. Ryan Smith, Tanner Cook, Mac O'Keefe. I think this team's more versatile and more equipped for, challenges than Cannons has.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying Chaos won't make it. Just
did Ian didn't play in sixes, right?
No.
Yeah. And I just think Chaos's defense is far superior right now than what Cannons is throwing out there.
I would agree.
So I think that helps them.
Not saying Cannons aren't the weakest, but I could see them sneaking in a worst case scenario where Chaos just doesn't have it because they run out of gas with those guys.
So that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch as well. And then sign me up for Game of the Week, Chrome Waterdogs. Get your popcorn ready. This shit's going to be a banger.
Really? You think so?
I think it's going to be electric. Jake Withers is questionable, so that could be, an added boost at the stripe for the Dogs. I think Michael Sowers is playing at an all-time high confidence level. It sucks that Mikey Schlosser's still out for the Waterdogs because I think he adds a dynamic to their team that no one else really has in the league, the way that he plays with them. But I think it's going to give Jack Hanna more opportunities. I think it's going to give Ethan Walker more opportunities. And I just like the way both of these teams are playing right now. I think Waterdogs getting that win going into the break was huge. Chrome have been able to kind of sit on 2 weeks of taking in their first loss of the year. So I think this game's going to have a lot of electricity. I think it's going to be physical. I think it's going to be fast. I think it's going to be a really fast game. And I'm excited to see the Waterdogs spread out offense, the way that they move the ball and how they kind of possess things, go up against that man-to-man defense that Chrome throws out there.
If that's what they do. I would not be surprised to see that coaching staff go with a more traditional slide from crease, three-man slide package in this game. Because being on an island solo in a spread out open offense is like death. There's literally no help whatsoever. Like Chrome kind of plays that way now, but they have opportunities to help each other if they really need to. The way this Waterdogs offense plays, those opportunities will not be available. Like if they dodge and they beat you, they're solo with Scanoni. So, either he's got to have a fantastic day or the defense has to be on all fours, like going off. So it's like, wouldn't be surprised to see them switch up. Maybe they go to some crazy matchup zone, something like that. Like they're definitely going to do something I wouldn't say definitely, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something different in terms of the way the Waterdogs offense plays, just in scheme wise, and being not really helpful for themselves, but more helpful for Scanoni. You can't leave him out to dry in my case.
Yeah, Dylan Ward's questionable, but you and I have both been impressed with the way DeLucas kind of rebounded from that first game. Mikey Schlusser's out. Ryan Brown is questionable with a lower body, and Steve DiNapoli's still out. But even with Ryan Brown being questionable, and say, worst case scenario, Brownie doesn't play, I'm still not really concerned because this offense has the pieces to kind of still move the ball around and feed it to Michael Sowers up top.
Yeah, I agree. They have plenty of plug. I think Ethan Walker will get plugged down there, and not too many things that change. He's a fantastic ball mover and seems to find the open stick all the time, especially in shooting opportunities. So not too worried about Ryan Brown. It does take away like their best shooting option, but I like the idea of having a more fluent ball movement option down there with Ethan Walker. So I don't think the offense suffers. It's just different shooter.
100%.
Shooters, probably.
Yeah. Because, you still have the likes of Michael Sowers, Kieran McCardle, Ewok. Jack Hanna's played phenomenally. So, they got options. But do you hear that?
I think I do. The Duckies.
For the first time in, forever. It is the PLL Fairfield Picks of the Week, powered by our homies over at Pickup. You guys can go to playpickup.com, start playing the hottest headlines in sports, rack up points on your fan profiles, cash them in for prizes on the Pickup Marketplace, which some of the most electric stuff on that marketplace. I'm gonna run it down for the people real quick for you all to kind of understand what these points can get you. You go to that Pickup Marketplace. They got the dugout mugs, MLB not shot glasses. They've got, this one's pretty electric, a $20 e-gift card to Fanatics. They've got the CrossNet 4-way volleyball, which is chilling in my garage right now. You can get a game of bowling and shoe rental for 2 people. You can get $200 off $400 TRX suspension trainer bundle and training club for 300 points. That's nothing. That's easy. You can get the VSiN Sports Betting Network subscription for 400 points. You can get the Daily Stakes Sports Betting Analytics for 300 points. And the LA Football Network still has 30% off their locker room merch for 300 points. So go over to playpickup.com, start playing those headlines, and cash them in for prizes on that Pickup Marketplace. Playpickup.com. Deej, let's get into these games. The first one, Redwoods versus Atlas, 5 p.m. Saturday on ESPN2. The Woods desperately need a win. Atlas chilling in first place, but barely. They are technically tied for first place, but they've got the head-to-head over Chrome. They're 4-1. Woods are 1-4. How do you see the first game post All-Star break going down?
I talked about this Woods team pre-All-Star. About them hanging together, getting their stakes together, doing their thing, having a good time over All-Star. Nat, Chris Collins, and the rest of the coaching crew going back to the chalkboard. I have a good feeling about the way they're going to come out. No Trevor, so I think the offense will have the ball a lot. I've had a lot of trust in the defense and the way they played this year. Arden has settled in well in his position down low. We've got our LSMs back. Jack Neer's supposedly back, so I'm feeling good and gonna take those Redwood boys.
The koozie pick. I'm with you. I'm going Redwoods simply for TD having a massive advantage at the stripe with no Trevor Baptiste there. I think it's a nice, get right game for him, get comfortable game for him, and it's all going to come down to Timmy D and how he handled the All-Star break and or Jack Kelly. So we'll see how that all plays out. Championship 2021 rematch, Whips Chaos This one's tough. This one's real tough. It's tough because we're picking these games before we know who's actually active, so we don't know if Max Adler's actually active. And even so, like, Tommy Kelly's had a phenomenal bounce back year so far. I really, really, really want to pick Chaos in this game. And that's my heart telling me to do it. But my gut's telling me take Whips. So I'm going to go Whip Snakes.
Back to the point I just made about these guys being tired. Don't really know what they're going to come out with. They've had a nice kind of little break with these last couple days. But they're, we don't know Max Adler, that situation as well. I do like their defense over with Chaos a lot. Their offense could put it together, but I can't go against the way the Whips have been playing right now. Like I mentioned earlier, they're in that mode where they're not necessarily worried about goal differential. They're developing players and winning games. They're 4-1 for a reason. They go out and they do what it takes to win. And I think they'll do that again. So I'm going with the Whip Snakes.
And I will say, Whip Snakes have really only had one convincing win to me all year. And it was that game against Atlas on Long Island. Everything else has been one goal. Pretty much, everything else has been a one-goal game this year. And they're coming off a loss as well, so very interesting stuff with the Whips, I'll say that. Cannons, Archers, I think the Archers are playing some of the best lacrosse in the league right now. I think their offense is clicking, and if you give me Grant Ament coming back healthy, it only emphasizes that point. So bows up, everybody. Give me the Archers. Give me the All-Star Game MVP, Marcus Holman. Give me my league MVP, Will Manny, right now. And the Philly boys are going to go down there to Connecticut, and they're going to get a win over the Cannons.
This one for me is about the lack of Lyle Thompson. Sad face. No Lyle Thompson tweet this weekend. I may just do it anyway and just go just to remind y'all.
When Cannons are losing by 12.
Just to remind y'all, even though he's not playing, Lyle Thompson's really good at lacrosse. But yeah, I think the Archers defense is going to have a field day this weekend in terms of kind of just having fun, flying around, causing turnovers, and wreaking havoc on an offense that doesn't have, their quarterback and doesn't have a guy that kind of sets the tone. So they're kind of looking for that guy, and they're also, putting in other guys that may have, not had much time or are not really ready to take on the load that they're going to get past. So Archer's going to win this one.
And then my game of the week, Chrome versus Waterdogs. Deej, how do you see the pink versus purple battle playing out in the final game of the weekend?
I think I may be on board with this being the best game of the week. Like we just mentioned, the offense-defense battle on the side of Waterdogs offense, Chrome defense. What are we going to see from both of those teams? That's going to be a fun thing to watch. Also really excited to see Withers try and kind of have, if he's going to be back. It seems so. He wasn't. I don't think he was on the
It's questionable
injury. But, if he's back, it'll be interesting to see if he has a good comeback game or if Connor kind of just continues to roll the field with him. Or if he doesn't, the phenomenon that has been Zach Tucci and what he does against Connor Farrell.
Tucci Maine.
He's been awesome stepping in. I've loved that for their team. So excited to see if he continues to roll or if Connor kind of just continues to be the beast he's been other than when he went against Trevor. That wasn't even a bad matchup. He just didn't steamroll the rest like he did. And I think on the flip side, the offense defense for Chrome and Waterdogs and Chrome offense, Waterdogs defense, I'm interested to see who Ben Randall plays. That's my main thing with this. Does he play Wisnauskas behind net, which he's kind of been doing this year, is playing a lot of guys over there.
That's all-star Ben Randall.
Or does he take over Logan, who's pretty much popped off this year, and it's become.
You mean Nick Turn?
Yeah, excuse. Did I said that twice, didn't I? Yeah,
you said Wisnauskas, and then you said Logan.
Yeah, I meant to say Nick Turn the first time, and then Wisnauskas, who has just turned into an offensive weapon for Chrome. So interested to see that, but I do think Chrome just has all of the right pieces to take this one.
We got the same fucking picks, brother. I'm going Chrome as well.
Why did you do that? That's not good, man. Good things do not happen when we all pick the same game.
I was going back and forth on that Whips Chaos game very hard. That's really the only one I was like wavering with. I think Chrome sitting on a loss for 2 weeks is gonna bode well for them, and I think Waterdogs will play. I think this will be a very close game. It wouldn't shock me if the Waterdogs win. But I just like what Chrome are bringing to the table right now, and like you said, Logan and Nick Turn have been ridiculous this year. I do want to see more of Colin Heacock, please. Like, can we get more Heacock highlights going? It seems like he's kind of just been left in the dust.
Well, they're not on Heacock anymore.
Lost his powers. Curious if he gets traded. Hot take.
They got to get him in that Nina project.
Hot take. Does Colin Heacock get traded? Find out next week.
What's question mark?
Wouldn't hate it.
Would not.
Wouldn't hate it. But those are our picks of the week. DJ and I are going with the same exact picks. Woods, Whips, Archers, Chrome. Those are your Fairfield picks of the week, powered by the homies over at Pickup. Go to playpickup.com now and start playing those headlines. I just hit the wrong button. We love doing that.
Yeah, we do.
Before we get into our big NLL news involving the Philadelphia Wings, which could be, a massive franchise thing, we got something special planned for you guys with the return of the PLL game action this week. You heard the music. You heard the man. It is a Drake Porter Do review. And this week, it's another flavor of the summer that's been chilling in my fridge for quite some time. So it's going to be nice and cold. And this, I have high expectations for this one. It is Drake Porter Do review Mango Gem. Baja Mango Gem. For the people at home who don't know me personally, I am a big mango stan. Love mango. The branding is great. I love the little, pirate-looking mascot on here. Mango Gem, ladies and gents. No free ads.
Is that a pirate octopus?
I think so. It's pretty sick.
And the fang.
I think at the end of the year we're gonna have to rank the mascots on each one we review as well. Mm-hmm. That'll be a Colin Squires top 5.
Absolutely.
Mango Gem. It is a little see-through, kind of like the Baja Gold we did a couple weeks ago. It is due with a blast of natural and artificial mango flavor. I love mango, Deej, so I have high hopes for this. I'm hoping this, for me, gets in the territory of Major Melon and Spark and the Legend from Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, I'm hoping this hits a 9.
I'm hoping
that's my hope.
It gets up there with what was it, Spark and Frostbite for me. I think it was. I think Legend was pretty high as well for me.
Yeah, so to recap all of our scores, we've done Spark, Livewire, Major Melon, Maui Burst, Frostbite in a can, Flamin' Hot, Legend, which is the Buffalo Wild Wings exclusive, Baja Gold. Those are the ones we've done so far. Deej, your highest scores have been Frostbite in the can an 8.7. You gave Spark an 8.5. You gave Major Melon and Maui Burst both a 7.8. You gave the Legend an 8. And you gave Baja Gold a 7.9.
And what did I give the Legend Long Island?
9.2.
Also get that. I think we're gonna add to that pretty soon.
Yeah, we might end up doing that tomorrow, since
I'm
you and I have a big movie plan potentially tomorrow, so we might need that post movie meal.
I'm so down for that.
So, Baja Mango Gem is about to get cracked open, ladies and gents. It's a see-through-ish orange. If you're not watching on YouTube for the do reviews, I don't know what you're doing. So if you're listening on audio, keep it rolling and just come over to the YouTube.
You know what? Maybe not only do we start dropping these as reels on YouTube, but we start TikTok and put them on TikTok. And we also
maybe Mountain Dew sponsors us.
And we could drop our pick segments in there, top 5. Like we can just do the playlist and just people can go and look. So hey, maybe we will cater to you guys a little bit. But for now, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to the YouTube.
Channel.
Maybe we'll do YouTube shorts for you. But here we go. Mango Gem.
Ooh, what a nice crisp open.
Oh, it smells so good.
Ooh, I smelled it as soon as I took it off. I didn't have to get
smells
close.
So good.
Didn't even have to get close.
Oh, that smells just like mango water ice. God damn, don't let me down. Please don't let me down. Here we go. Mango Gem. That dangin'.
Don't ever say that about a can of pop again. Bottle. Excuse me.
Holy wow.
Side note, my favorite feature about the new bottles has been the MD on the sides.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect gripping point.
Yes.
Other than the grooves. I think I like the MD more than the grooves. As far as the gripping point. But phenomenal. Wow. Phenomenal drink.
What's this go with?
Tacos, and I need this in a margarita. I promise I'm not an alcoholic, y'all, but this would be gas in a margarita. With some chorizo tacos, Mexican style with some cheese, a side of rice, and some chips and guacamole. Ho ho! I'm trying to think of walking tacos, actually. This would be so good with a walking taco. Like I could imagine like pulling up at a festival with one of these and copping a walking taco and just yeah. We're in business.
It's pretty damn good.
But also I'm thinking like
it does have a slight like
picnic
aftertaste.
just basic picnic food.
Yeah.
Sandwich, chips, fruit, chocolate, like that. Just it's a picnic. This has a true summer vibe. Like the gold and like Baja, like they were good, but like this gives me like a summer taste. Like this is like if I had this in the winter, I'd be like or the fall or the spring. But like having this in the summer, like this is like this is what I'm supposed to drink in the summer.
It's like if you melted Rita's mango water ice and carbonated it. It's the vibe it gives. There's a slight aftertaste. It's not like overpowering, but you can kind of feel it.
Like you bit into a mango.
Yeah, it's like that, and not that mangoes are bitter, but I don't even know how to describe that mango bite aftertaste. But that's what it gives.
It's just sharp. Like
that's the word.
You have it. You're like, okay, Mountain Dew, and then it's like mango. Like, and it's not like overpowering, but it's like letting you know. It
sits in the back of your throat.
Yeah, it's letting you know, like this is flavored. This is a mango flavor, just so you know.
Man, I look at my frostbite score every day and regret it.
That thing gas. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll take a couple of them things off your hands this weekend. Hey, that case might be gone by the time this weekend's over. Because you probably got about 10 of them things left.
Easy.
Yeah. Them can always go in the luggage.
I've given
got
three
space.
nines. I've given 3 9 scores.
I've not.
Legend got a 9-1 from me. Spark got a 9-2, and Major Melon got a 9-5.
You said you were a tough judge, but I am the tough judge.
But everything else, for the most part, has been pretty average. Frostbite was my one hiccup.
Oh, excuse me.
What are you giving this? Collectively, also, we don't have an overall score that's hit the 9s yet.
That's true.
Had high 8s, but no collective score that's hit a 9.
8-2. This is not better than Spark, but it is definitely better than Legend. Like, that's how I see it. Like, it's like clearly in the middle of those two. And I think it's more about the vibe that makes it better than Legend. Like, I don't think it necessarily has a better taste than Legend, but like the vibe and the feeling plus the taste that I get while drinking this gives it a small boost over Legend. But I get that same vibe and a better taste from Spark.
I'm going to give this a 9-1.
Ooh.
Same score I gave to Legend. I like it. It's light, which is nice, and it's weird to say that a soda is light, but it's yeah. It's like there's some that are heavy. Like a regular Coke is a heavy drink. Like
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper can be, depending on where you get it from. If it's a bottle, if it's a can. Root beer is heavy. So for perspective there, this is a light drink. Definitely hits you with the carbonation, because I've definitely like burped like 3 times. But yeah, it's really good. Like I said, it's Rita's mango water ice melted down and then thrown in like a soda stream machine and carbonated. That's what I'm getting from it. So I give it a 9-1. Deej gives it an 8.2, which collectively puts our official score for Mango Gem at an 8.7, which is tied with Major Melon for third best of our reviews so far.
Okay.
So to run down our overall scores, Spark has an 8.9, which is the number one. Livewire has a 7. Major Melon has an 8.7. Maui Burst has a 7.6. Frostbite has an 8.8. Flamin' Hot has a 1. Legend has an 8.6. Baja Gold has a 7.9. And then Baja Mango Gem an 8.7 out of 10. So that's your Drake Porter Do review for Baja Mango Gem. Deej and I are probably going to pre-record a ton of Do reviews this weekend because we have a lot on deck ready to go. But Mango Gem, well done. Well done there on everything coming through. Like that one a lot. I like that one a lot. Did not let me down.
That one was really good. I'm impressed.
Last bit of news we have that came out today. The Wings have hired Jeff McComb as their new offensive coordinator. Everybody in the NLL world knows he was the head coach of the dynasty run for the Saskatchewan Rush, who won 3 championships in 2015, 2016, and 2018. And they were also in the championship game, Deej, in 2017, but that was the year Georgia won. Coached Ben McIntosh. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. His time with the Rush staff from 2014 to 2022 was when he was the head coach that got let go when the Rush like switched up their coaching staff and everything late in the year. And during his run with them, he helped lead the Rush offense to a top 3 ranking in goals per game in 2015 and 2018. A quote here from Ben McIntosh: "I had the privilege of playing for Jeff my first 5 seasons in the NLL. He's an outstanding coach and person. He's a mastermind when it comes to offense and just in general, one of the smartest lacrosse minds in the game. I've already learned so much from Jeff and feel very lucky to be able to play for him again and continue to learn and understand the game as well as he does. And head coach slash GM Paul Day said that Jeff is a proven winner. His tenure as the offensive coordinator for the Saskatchewan Rush proved to be successful, as the Rush were one of the most innovative and creative offenses in the NLL. We are confident that Jeff will bring a winning culture and championship pedigree that will take the Wings to the next level. I've known Jeff for over 35 years, and I'm excited to be able to bring his talents to the Philadelphia Wings. Also, very interesting tidbit here in the press release. It says Makoma looked to lead a Wings offense that was bolstered by the late season additions of forwards Kyle Jackson and Sam LeClaire, and propelled the team to its first playoff appearance in 2013. So it seems like the offense going to be involving Kyle Jackson, Sam LeClaire a little bit next year, as well as the traditional big dogs. And then Macomb also said, I'm extremely excited to be joining an organization with as much history and prestige as the Wings. I would like to thank Paul Day for the opportunity, and I look forward to working with some of the best players in the world and work to bring an NLL title to Philadelphia. I saw this news get announced, and I was absolutely giddy. Like, Macomb is like Ben McIntosh said, he's a mastermind on offense. And that, for the most part, I think was something that was lacking in consistency for the Wings last year. There were moments where the offense would click, and then there were moments where the offense would go absolutely dead. Macomb, I don't think, will tolerate that, and I think he's going to be able to pull out the best from guys like Ben McIntosh, like Kevin Crowley, like Sam LeClaire, Kyle Jackson. If Corey Small is back in free agency, I feel like that's another guy he can get a lot of potential out of, especially on the power play. This has me so excited for the Wings season to see what this offense is going to be able to do. And I didn't even name Blaze Reardon or Matt Rambo. And Macomb working with those two is going to be electric. I'm just so excited that there's a guy with this much pedigree, this much, wizardry on the offensive side of the ball in the NLL coming to the Philadelphia Wings, who are a loaded offensive team.
Yeah, I think, first off, I want to commend and send praise out to the Wings front office. I think they did this scenario right. You see a lot of teams struggle with something and they fire the head coach. That's not necessarily the answer. Or they ship players away. That's not necessarily the answer. Their coach did fine this year. Their players did fine this year. Where's the real problem here? If the offense is stalling, probably in the scheme. So they went ahead and they went with a new offensive coordinator. I think that is an amazing job on their behalf on trying to find the right solution to, to their problem versus going with the easy solution and trying to restart everything. So for, kudos to them on that part. Secondly, I think Macomb is an awesome job, an awesome option. Just obviously, four straight championships, winning 3. That right there in its own is an accomplishment that says you know what you're doing. And he has so many pieces to work with. That's what I'm excited about, is to see. I'm always, now that I've become a coach, sports are in such a different lens now. And this is more about the coach than it is about the guys. The guys are going to go out and play. I wish I could walk into the room the first time he gets to see these guys doing what he's drawn up, or the first time he gets to walk into the room with these guys and he gets to draw up the plays on the whiteboard. The look on his face is going to be unbelievable. He's so excited to get in the room and work with these guys, and I'm excited to see what he does with, a plethora of names. I'm not even going to get into them because every time we do that, we rattle off 10 names, and that's just unnecessary right now. He has so much talent to work with, and I'm excited to see what that offense does with the new scheme.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. I think this move is something that can, push the Wings into being a top 4, top 3, and if it hits full potential, their offense can really click, towards the top of the East, and that's going to be very exciting to watch. I love this hire. Macomb also on Twitter quote tweeted the announcement from the Wings and said, can't wait to get started, fired up to be part of such a historic organization. Thank you, Paul Day, for the opportunity. Ready for this one, Deej? Hashtag LFG.
Oh.
Fire me up.
Okay.
Absolutely love that. And I'm excited to, get a chance to possibly talk to him. I would love to get him on the show. I might be able to set that up somehow. We'll definitely have to look into that. Also, a little bit of NLL news for our brand. Panther City in 2022 Rookie of the Year finalist Patrick Dodds have agreed to a 3-year contract extension. Let's fucking go, Doddsy. Let's go.
Hey, the boy Tyson Bell got a 1-year extension with Halifax as well.
Let's go.
I saw that, I think like 2 days ago maybe, or a day ago. But yeah, I saw that. So he's got an extension up there.
And then some hires on the media side of things that we haven't gotten a chance to talk about. The boy, the homie, Tyson Geik, headed to your New York Riptide. That's super exciting. I'm excited to be able to be around Tyson when I'm on Long Island next year. He's one of the smartest media minds out there, no matter what space it is. He's one of the funniest and smartest lacrosse minds out there, and he's one of the most embracing and nice humans I've met along this lacrosse journey I've been on. He's supported OTB from the moment we started, so I couldn't be happier for Tyson to be coming stateside, which is very, very fun. And then also shout out to Clarissa at Quinn's Edgework on the Twitter machine, full-time hire for social with the Warriors. I told our friend there, you got an invite to OTB this year. It's gonna happen, and they said I'm gonna be incessant about asking about lacrosse, so I hope you're prepared. Very excited. They were amazing last year on Twitter and absolutely earned that role. So shout out to some media homies getting some new gigs and some full-time gigs in the NLL. It's wild. NLL free agency is right around the corner. Some franchise tags been thrown out recently too. Big Frank, Callum Crawford, all catching a franchise tag. Dane Smith. Free agency is going to be wild. Can't wait for it. Any final thoughts, Deej, as we get set for a weekend in Fairfield? We're going to be doing some pizza scarfing in Connecticut because allegedly, I disagree being a New Jersey guy, but allegedly Connecticut's the pizza capital of the world. We'll see about that, but there are some spots that we've been recommended to hit, and we're totally going to hit them. So pizza spots, look out for OTB because we're coming for you.
Yeah, I'm excited to get back on the road and back in someone's airport, which is awesome. And yeah, pizza. Let's get this thing going. And someone please play us in Bino. So like, yes. Stop playing you on the road. Like if you are there in Connecticut and you walk by us playing Bino on the top of the car, stop what you're doing and come play.
Or come watch.
Even
at the very least,
come watch and talk to us, please.
Any words for the people at home, Tony Stark message style, since you're flying a certain airline this weekend?
I ain't flying Spirit, so I ain't gonna turn into one. But listen, y'all,
it may be the last frontier.
Yeah, so this is the first time I'm flying Frontier, so I don't know what to expect. I ain't taking anything too personal other than my Vans and my carry. Oh, and my cologne. Oh my. I will cry if I lose my cologne. But yeah, so hopefully I don't lose my luggage, but I think I'm going to be okay. There may be a certain cross-brand picture coming out at some point on the Twitter machine tomorrow.
Shout out to the boys.
You could probably figure out what we're insinuating there.
You should also tweet at Colin his thoughts about you flying Frontier.
I absolutely will, because I think he's going to have absolutely hilarious.
Pray for you.
Yeah, he is. He's going to be like, Frontier is like, no, it doesn't exist on the
When
list.
we get Colin on the show, that's going to be the top five airlines.
He's gonna call me a disgrace.
He's going to unfollow you.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, my top two are, like, United and American. It's like, well, Delta, obviously. Like, Delta is, like, cream of the crop. Like, I ain't never flew Delta because how expensive Delta is. Because
it's like Delta and JetBlue are like the A games.
Up there. And guess where I'm not? Up there. But yeah, I like the idea of that top five for sure.
That's all we got for you guys this week. Make sure you're following along with us on social because we'll be in Fairfield, like we said 100 times already. At OTB Laxpod. Follow DJ on Twitter at SCS_next. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Tweet at Mountain Dew to tell them to sponsor us. Let's get that going. Let's get the people to make this a thing. Tweet at them. to get them to sponsor the pod. And of course, check out the website, undergroundsportsphiladelphia.com, for all of our written content. Also, shout out to friend of the network now, Mobley, the new artist who is providing the official theme music for streamer season. The new song just dropped today. Go check that out. Run that thing up wherever you get music. It is called Stay Volk, VOLK. Download that wherever you get music. Go check out the music video. He tweeted he was in a hot ass warehouse, Deej, for 16 hours in 103-degree weather dancing. So go support the homie. He's awesome. His music's incredible. I think it's right up your alley too, from the alternative pop type style of music too. It's electronic in there too. It's very different, and when I saw him live open for the homies Arkells, it gave me Arkells mixed with Jimi Hendrix mixed with digital music as well. Very cool vibe. So go check out Stay Volk wherever you get your music. Download our podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. And subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Smash that like button, click the bell icon so you don't miss a single second of the content. And of course, comment down below with your picks for Fairfield, your thoughts on the Wings' new OC, your thoughts on the AllStar game, and anything we talked about on this episode. Go drop that in the comment section. Big thank you to our sponsors, Tomahawk Shades, Kenwood, Beer Pickup, and Bino. All of their information is linked in the show notes on audio and in the description on YouTube with all of our promo codes. Go run them things up so DJ and I can put food on our tables. But this has been episode number 231 of the allegedly award-nominated, honorably mentioned, and of course viewable on YouTube, Outside the Box podcast, part of the Underground Sports Philadelphia podcast network. For Deej, I'm KB. We'll see you in Fairfield, but until then, we're getting the heck out of here. Peace.
Peace.